Hi, I'm Nicky from All About the Yarn, and I'm going to show you how to make a really easy tassel. These are perfect for my campfire shawl design, but you can add them to all sorts of things. I've made two sizes using the same equipment, and I will show you how. So first things first, you need the yarn that you want to use. This is a 4-ply, this is the Bahram U Pip that has sadly been discontinued. Very sad about it. Anyway, and I've got a Nellie and Eve postcard. You can use any postcard you like. And a knitter's needle and a pair of scissors. Okay, it's so easy, so let's get going. So first things first, I'm just going to take my piece of card. I'm going to I'll do this sort of backwards. I'm just going to lay my yarn around. I leave myself a little bit of extra there. And I just start wrapping it round. So I'm going to go round 10 times. If you want your tassel thicker, you just do it more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. I don't pull too tight because I don't want to distort the card. It's just a way to keep them the same length. Right, I'll just bunch them up together a bit. There we go. And I'm just going to snip the end of the yarn. There. Okay, we're just going to keep it on the card for now. So I'll just pop that down. And I'm going to thread my knitter's needle. There we go. Just keep that end down there. I'm going to thread my needle just right underneath all the loops at the top and pull it through, leaving a decent length of tail. Chop at that end. And I'm just going to tie at the top a secure double knot. Okay, I've left those ends nice and long. That's what we're going to use to secure it onto our project later. So I can now take it off the card. So you can see here we've got the loops at the end. So we're going to just make sure that's about halfway. Get our scissors and I just pull them taut a little bit and snip. So we're pretty close to already finishing our tassel. So now what we want to do is make the little bulgy bit at the top, whatever the technical word for that is. It's that bit there. So again, I get my working yarn and I'm just going to lay that out. Use that down so you can see what I'm doing. And I just lay my tassel with the tied end at the top and just have it so the yarn's a little way down, and I'm going to snip it again. Again, I'm leaving nice long ends. Okay, so this is how I do it. So I tie the knot. It's up to you how far down you have it. I have it fairly close to the top. There we go. And then I like to just give mine a wrap around a few times. I think that gives it a nice finish. One of my ends was much longer, so I've just done it with that end, but you could easily wrap both ends back and forth a bit. Okay, and then I'm going to tie my knot again, and this time I'm going to make it a double knot. Give it a nice pull so it's all nice and tight. Secure it there. Okay, I then thread my ends onto my knitter's needle and I take them back down through the wraparound bits into the tassel. So that's one. There's the other end of the knot. Again, take that down behind the wraparound bit into the tassel. Just bring it down somewhere in the middle of there. There we go. And that's pretty much it, other than it's looking a bit bedraggled. So we want to make sure we've just trimmed the ends. Just make sure you're happy with the top bit. Can I fluff it out a bit? Or if there's a bit that's bulging out, you can find the strand and just give it a little tug. Okay, so all I want to do now is neat it up. So just smooth them down a bit. Get my scissors. And snip across. And then I kind of smooth it another way. And any funny bits. If you get too bogged down in this, you can end up with a very short tassel. There we go. And when you're happy, there we go, one tassel. So this little short, thicker one, I've done with exactly the same piece of card. I wrapped it round exactly the same amount of times. So let's just quickly show you that one, because all that happens is I just tie it off in a different place after I've wrapped it around the card. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to go round the piece of card 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just snug those up a bit. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Snug them up. Cut that off there. Okay, so instead of running the needle through the top here, I'm going to take this straight off the card. And what I might do before I take it off the card is just make sure I've got a bit of the working yarn laid out flat. Okay, so I've taken that off the card. I don't want to lose my loops. So I'm laying this across the yarn I'm going to use to tie a knot. And so that's now halfway down. So I've actually got loops either side. Let's give that a snip. Tie that. That's pretty much halfway. You can always put it through a little bit if you need to. Okay, give that a good tie and then double knot, nice and secure. Right, so this time I've made more of a butterfly shape, but all we do is snip both ends this time. Like so, check I haven't missed any. Okay, and then again, get my working yarn. Just lay that out. So I'm just going to bring both of those sides down. Again, just lie it over there. Snip that, that'll make my life a bit easier. Just secure that top with a knot. Gonna wrap it round. Again, it's totally up to you how many times you wrap it round there. Give that a nice tug so it's nice and neat. Tie a double knot. Like so. And again, I would just weave those in back over the wraparound bits and trim it off. And then you've got a nice little dumpy one. There we go. I'll now do a video from sort of behind over my hand so you can see it close up, and hopefully you are thoroughly versed in how to make a yarn tassel. Thank you very much. Okay, one more time for luck. Just going to show you close up. So we've got our yarn, we've got our card, we've got our knitter's needle, we've got our scissors. And I'm going to wrap this round 10 times. Snip my end there. Okay, so I want to run my needle underneath these loops through there. So let's just thread the needle. And do exactly that. Just going to make sure this doesn't come loose basically. So you're going to come right under all those loops. Bring it through. Leave a nice long end. Let's just give that a snip. Okay. So I'm going to tie a double knot. Leave those ends there because that's what I'm going to use to secure it to my project. And then take it off the card. I'm going to snip these loops. So now we just need to make our bobble at the end. I'm just going to lay out that working yarn. Pop that over it. Snip that. Make life easier. I'll just snip the end there. And I'm just going to it's poking up a bit, pull them down. There we go. Wrap it around a few times. Make sure it's nice and firm and neat. And then I'm just going to tie that in a double knot. And then weave the ends back in like I showed you. So you can see where I've wrapped it round, and I'm just going to bring the needle on the inside of those down into the tassel. Make sure the ends come through, and do the other end of the knot. There we go. So all we need to do now is neaten the ends. There we go, finished tassel. So you'll need 3 tassels for the campfire shawl, 1 on each corner. As I said, you can fold it in half like I showed you in the other bit and sort of make a butterfly shape by tying it across the middle of the loops, and then make a little dumpy short thick one. Quite like those. Yeah, and there you go. The world is your tasselly oyster.